Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's Perspective for Thursday, November 9th, 2017. And I could not wait to get with you today because I saw something last week, and you see what I learned in 5 minutes. And it was a powerful lesson, and it didn't take me years to get it. So I obviously had to come and share it with you. And challenge you to think about where you stand on this spectrum that I'm going to lay out. So I was at a celebration not too long ago, and we were in a public place, and hey, Ty, and the employee was beyond rude to a coworker. And when I say rude, rude is way too light a word of what was going on. I mean, the employee, first of all, was very, very tall, and we down here at the short level. So there was already that intimidation factor. And the employee was, hey, Judith, going off. And you don't know what you're talking about, and you wrong, and attacking manhood and everything, and loud about it to make things worse. And so I heard this was happening, and I was immediately, I'm telling you right now, hey, Miss CeeLo, I'm telling you already, I sort of shot to a level 10 because I have this thing about leadership and customer service, and you're just not going to act like that. You're just not going to act like that. And so a manager had to come out and physically push the employee away. And of course, we got all the food free, but that's not the point. So here's what I learned in just a short period of time. So my coworker came back and we, got all the food and everything. He came back and literally did not show any strain as he went on and produced this nice function. And you know how sometimes when people are boiling on the inside, there's a strain when they smile, and you can tell. You can just tell when they are hot as a firecracker, but they're in public, so they got to, at least get through this event. Hey, Miss Donita, it literally was nothing there. He was harboring nothing. And I was in shock with that. I was like, wait a minute, you just got put on Front Street in a loud, embarrassing, disrespectful, dehumanizing manner. It was rough. It was a rough show. And so I saw him a couple of days later, and I said, hey, come in here. You got to, I'm always asking folks stuff. Like, I saw what happened. I heard what happened. And then I saw your reaction or lack thereof. You got to tell me, where did you develop this resilience? Where'd you get all this from? Because you weren't faking it when you went on to produce, hey, Miss Tanya, when you went on to produce, the rest of the event. There was no strain in your voice. There was no, your veins were not popping up as you tried to keep it all under control. How did you learn that? And so here's what I learned in like 5 minutes. And again, I love to learn, love it, because it means growth. If you're not learning, if you're not growing intentionally, it's not going to happen. So I'm always on the lookout. And he said to me, number one, that person did not rate. They were not worthy of the energy that I could have put into them. And so, I had to dig a little deeper into that. It's like you go off and start defending yourself, and you're not going to talk to me like that. And then you carry that on into the afternoon, and you carry on, right. And you carry that on into the night, and you can't sleep. And, I felt so disrespected, and I was embarrassed, and he embarrassed me in front. Okay, you're doing all of that. First of all, this person is sleeping as snug as a bug in a rug. They don't even half remember the incident. Maybe that's their norm. They do that kind of nonsense all the time. But you have created all this energy behind them. You don't even know their name. And so he said, I learned a while ago, some people just do not deserve my energy. They don't. I can't, right, Tanya. I'm up all night and I can't sleep. And the next day I'm thinking about it. And every time somebody talks to me, that's the first thing coming out of my mouth. is not worth it. It messes me up. So I said, okay, ding, ding, ding. That's that respond versus react. Okay, let's stop reacting to everything. So he chose his response. And then the second thing, and this was the truest lesson for me, because I love to see stuff live and in color. Don't talk to me about a whole lot of theory. Don't talk to me about what you read, but you ain't walking nothing out. I saw live and in color him walking this thing through. And he said the other thing was, I learned to forgive people. I refuse to harbor ill will toward anybody, to the point, now you can just say, that's a good line to say, and people say, oh wow, that's so wonderful, but this is how much he really lives into that. You know, he went back to find out if the young man, he was a young guy, he really was, he was max 20 years old. Should he have known better? Absolutely. But he went back to find out if the young man had been fired. He was like, I want him to learn from this. See, he went off on me because he thought he could. He went off on me so loud because he probably didn't know any better, you know, maybe a first job in a professional environment. So I'm going to chalk it up that he really needed to have learned a lesson. So I'm going to see if he kept his job. I want him to learn from this. I don't want him to get, you're going to learn one way or the other. You're either going to learn and say, oh my God, what did I do? Please forgive me. Track me down and ask for my forgiveness. Or you're going to learn because you're going to be looking for another job. One of two ways you're going to learn. But he didn't even want the young man to have been fired. He went back to say, look, this is the holidays coming up. Chalk it up as a learning experience for him. It's not worth it to him. Learn from it, young man. But so he was harboring no ill will, no vengeance. He wasn't trying to, and I better not go in there and see him again. If he's still working there, I'm going back to the match. He didn't do any of that. Hey, Bridget and Pam and all who are journeying. Whoo. Where is that from? Thank you for all who are joining me. Hey, Tanya and Eric. So the point was just so beautifully illustrated. It was beautifully illustrated. He was not going to choose to give his power, his energy over to anyone. Hey, Keisha. And yes, it is, Tanya. And he chose to forgive him, not just verbally. He went back to find out if the man, thank you, Eric. He went back to find out if the man had been fired. And I don't know if he went so far as to plead for his job, but really, he was concerned because he wanted him to learn from that. And this is one of the biggest lessons I took from that. When we're in a space and a place of wanting more and to grow and to expand, and I know there's more out there for me, we're going to have to learn to forgive. We're going to have to learn to not give our energy to people or things that don't rate it. They don't rate it. You don't deserve this much of my energy. Thank you for all the happy birthdays. This is about the Marine Corps birthday is actually tomorrow, 10 November. And so all Marines tell every other Marine happy birthday, and for those who know us. So thank you again for my Marine Corps birthday, 242 years old. So my point, forgiveness is not an option. You're not able to receive bigger and more, and I'm going there. You're not able to receive any of that if you will not work on learning to forgive. Who can trust you with an offense? God, who gives the increase and the promotions, won't be able to trust you. Because you'll be in positions of leadership and positions of authority where you are going to be offended, where people are going to backstab you, where people are going to attempt purposely, intentionally to cut you back down to size because they don't think you need to be there anyway. Okay, so all of those slights and wounds are going to come. Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted to forgive them and keep it moving? You don't have to forget or not remember the lesson that you learned from it, but you have to learn to forgive or you're not ready for the more. You're not ready for the bigger or the grander. And so, that's what I saw live and in color. I saw it walked out live and in color. And my challenge to all who are listening or will listen later, and thank you. Tomorrow is also our Veterans Day. Thank you for all who have served. Thank you so much. Rhonda is saying, what about multiple times and repeat offenders? And I will say this. We don't have to be a fool. We are not an advocate to be walked on. We're not, we're not the doormat. And I'm practicing forgiveness, so come test me out. I'm not advocating that. I think we have an option again to allow ourselves to be in situations where we are being multiply offended. Okay, that's a choice. Some things we can move ourselves out of. Some relationships we can lessen and decrease the amount of time, the opportunity. If you got a big target to shoot at, you're going to get a whole lot of hits. Okay, if you make yourself a smaller target, it's harder to hit you. And so some things we have the option. We need to have the right to preserve me. I love you all, but I sure do love me some Hollie Kelly. I'm telling you, I love me some Hollie Kelly. And so I'm going to pick up and remove myself from situations that see me as a target for disrespect, that see me as a target to take advantage of. No, you don't get that option. You don't get that option. I love me a little too much to continue to put myself in the line of being fired upon. Okay, so forgive or you're not ready for more. This is the way this life works. Okay, and so forgiveness is not easy. Please do not hear that, just go on and forgive and forget. I don't live in Disney World, okay? Didn't grow up in Disney World. I have had to learn to forgive because it is a shackle to you. You put yourself in prison. And those people, they forgot your name. They're going on and living the high life. They're happy and loving, and they don't even remember your name. And you over here in prison, an emotional prison. And so my challenge to you, I'll get back to my challenge. My challenge is to check yourself ×2. Are you giving more of your energy to those who do not rate it? To those who do not deserve the amount of energy that you're putting out? Check that. Well, you don't know what they did, but I'm looking at your reaction. I'm looking at how you are still talking about this, and that was 2 weeks ago. Okay, so are you doing that? Are you giving more of yourself than they deserve? And number 2, how are you doing on your forgiveness? Not just verbal forgiveness. How you doing on your forgiveness? Okay, we can't get more. And we don't allow little slights to chalk it up as something they need to learn from. Even though forgiveness is a process, it is. We don't have to camp out there. The lesson is on the other side. I love that, Tanya. The lesson is on the other side. It's on the other side. We continue to grow, okay? And every time we come to this same test in life, if you do not pass it, you're going to have to repeat the test. It's not optional. You're going to have to repeat the test. And so my vote is to let's learn and keep it moving. Let's just learn and keep it moving. Okay, 2 challenges. How you doing on your protecting your space, protecting your energy? You giving it to folk and opportunities and situations that don't rate it? And how you doing with your forgiveness? Okay. Listen, have a wonderful, wonderful, thoughtful Thursday. And take real good care of yourselves.